All right, welcome back to another episode of Cardinal Craze. Today on the show we have Stone Blanton coming in from Mississippi. Stone, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. Just sitting in a dark parking lot right now. So let me ask you, how how have you been doing since COVID?
I've been doing pretty good. Mississippi's been pretty lenient on their COVID rules protocols right now, so it's pretty open where I am. Been able to do football and stuff full go. So we're really excited about this upcoming season.
Well, I'm glad you're excited about this upcoming season. And you also play baseball, is that correct?
Yes, sir. That's right. That's right.
So you're a dual sport athlete. That is one of the things that the Cardinal staff actually look for. Now we're going to talk about the Louisville Cardinals. We're going to talk about the staff. We're going to talk about how your visit was and kind of get a feel for what your experience was like. So one of the first things we're going to talk about is your visit. Now, visiting Cardinal Stadium, getting to meet the Louisville coaching staff. What was the initial visit like?
It was awesome. The stadium was really cool, and all the chairs are actually are chair backs, so it's their own individual seat, which is I thought was pretty cool. So it looks really packed, and they can really fill out a stadium, and so that part was really cool. We got to see the top of the stadium and see over the city. That was a great view of kind of of Louisville. So I really loved that, and the coaching staff was phenomenal. They're very personal. So
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Now, your lead recruiter for the University of Louisville is Coach Derek Nicholson, correct?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's a great guy.
Well, we're glad to hear that. Now, Cardinal fans may not be as familiar as you are with Coach Nicholson. What can you tell us about him? Is there something about his personality? Maybe is he a big, does he like to crack jokes all the time? Is he a very serious person? What is he like?
He's like the juice man of the crew. So he's high energy, loves football, can talk football all day. So he's my type of guy. Me and him we got along great. We talked football pretty much the whole visit. I mean, it was awesome.
Well, that's great to hear. Now, what was it like meeting Coach Satterfield?
It was really cool. He's a very laid back, down to earth guy. From what I saw, we actually ate dinner at his house one night and got to play cornhole with him. And he's highly competitive, but he's a great guy, very down to earth and really cool to talk to.
Well, that's great to hear. Now, how competitive was he at cornhole?
He was good. He
Was
was a
he?
good
He
player.
was good. Okay. So let me ask you, what was the facilities like on your visit? Were you impressed? Were you blown away by anything specific in the facility wise?
Yeah, their facilities were top notch for sure. I mean, everywhere you go now with the D1 with the Power Five is going to be phenomenal facilities and they're right up there with the best. So, their weight room was phenomenal. The practice field was great. So it was all good.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Now, Stone, you have over 21 offers from Power Five schools and maybe a few lesser Power Fives. Uh, you actually have quite the list, kind of running down it a little. Includes Oregon, Texas A&M, Mississippi State, and Louisville, and many others. What can you say right now is your main focus?
Just building relationships. That's kind of a big thing to me is really getting to know the coaches and who's going to be with me over the next 4 years and training me to do the best that I can and getting me to the NFL. So that's the ultimate goal. Being a an athlete and playing in college football is good in the NFL. So I'm just looking for the relationships and the coach that can help me do that. So
All right, and that's great to hear. Now, on record, it actually shows that you have a total of 99 recorded sacks in 2020 alone. That is a phenomenal number just for a high school player. Now, let me ask you, what is your goal for next season?
so it was 124 tackles was the stat is what I finished at. So that was the main stat. One defensive player of the year. So I want to go back to back with that. Those are kind of my goals right now. Is just go back to back and then win another state championship. We brought the first undefeated team to our school with great players. They're phenomenal athletes here, and they really put in the work. And we went undefeated last year, so I want to repeat that. So
Wow, that is quite amazing. 124 and MVP. Stone, you are a high caliber athlete that colleges are heavily going after. Now, is there anything that Louisville can do to push you towards possibly committing to the Cardinals?
Just building relationships, continuing that relationship with Coach Nicholson and Coach Dennison, and because they were the guys that spent a lot of time with me on the visit, and they were awesome, and I was really impressed by them. And I just want to get to know them a little better, and hopefully, they could lead me to committing soon. So that's just kind of where I am right now.
All right, and that's great to hear. Do you know anyone at the university right now who's either playing or a walk on, or anyone from your school?
There was a guy named CJ Montgomery. He's there. He's a linebacker. Um, he was before kind of my time in high school, but he came from Mississippi, chose Louisville over Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and kind of followed him a little bit. Got to meet him when I was at Louisville. He's a great leader on the field and off the field, so he was a good guy.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Now, I actually kind of cut out there for a minute. I didn't hear the name.
CJ Montgomery, I believe.
CJ Montgomery. Yep. No, he's a great athlete. So, what other visits do you have lined up going forward? I know you just took one of your visits at Stanford, correct?
Yes, sir. So I started the summer off with Texas A&M, then went to Ole Miss, then went to Mississippi State, and then South Carolina, then Louisville. Southern Miss was in there as well. I was supposed to go to Auburn. I was supposed to go to Oregon, but my parents actually got COVID, so I wasn't able to go there to either one of those. But finish the summer off with Stanford, and then I'll have Texas A&M and Mississippi State in the fall.
All right, and that's great to hear. Now, when are we going to see maybe a top five, a top three, or do you just plan on committing towards the end of the year?
I might post the top three. I'm not sure yet. That would come in the month of July. Would be if I post the top three or not. So it just kind of goes off a feel and what's going on. So
Okay, well, hopefully the Cardinals get into that top five or
right.
three. Now, let's kind of dive into a little bit about your relationship between Coach Nicholson and yourself. Now, does he play any games with you? Does he jump on the Xbox or PlayStation and hit you up in Madden or Mortal Kombat? What is that relationship like? If there's any detail you can give us.
He's just a great mentor. I was there for a short period of time, only 3 days, but I mean he mentored me very well and my knowledge and expanded my knowledge of football just in that short period of time. I mean he really we did a bunch of position meetings and more than I've done at any visit, and that was off of I wanted to because I love talking the game of football, and he was very open to doing that, and I love that side about him, and you can just tell he was a great mentor and teaching you how to play football because he was actually a number one linebacker coming out of high school, then was a beast at Florida State, All American, and then got drafted. So he's already done all the things that I want to accomplish, and so just being able to hear his story and his journey that he's had with football, and then relaying it back to my story and how I can grow and get to where I want to be. So.
Well, that's great to hear, and hopefully he will continue to be a great mentor, and hopefully he'll eventually be your coach. But we got our fingers crossed here at Cardinal Craze. Now, let me ask you, what was one specific place that you went to in Louisville that really stood out to you?
Um, Probably Churchill Downs. That was the place we went to outside of the facilities and the stadium and stuff. That place was really awesome, and you can actually see it from the top of the stadium. It's a huge place, and it's super cool environment.
Well, that's great to hear. Did you bet any while you were out at Churchill, or was it just?
No, I didn't. I didn't have anything to bet, so I didn't. I didn't bet. I didn't place any bets.
Well, that's unfortunate. Maybe next time when you come back, you'll be able to play some bets and see the whole see the whole Churchill Down experience
That's right.
when it's lively and everybody's there. Well, Stone, we're gonna. Uh, well, Stone, I really appreciate you coming out on Cardinal Craze and talking to me a little bit about your experience while at the University of Louisville on your official visit. We're gonna go off here in a second, and we'll be done being live, and we can chat after that. Card Nation, be sure to go visit Stone on Twitter, Instagram, all of his different pages. And Stone, I really appreciate you coming out and talking to me and telling me what's going on. Hopefully, we'll have you back on here a little bit down the road. Hopefully, after you've dropped maybe your top five or three, and then we can talk a little bit more. All right. Well, this has been another episode of Cardinal Craze. Have a good one.
Sir, thank you for having me.